Wow. All I can say right now is momentum. This kid has momentum, and that's dangerous for the rest of the field. This kid is on fire.
Setting his mark in history as one of the greatest ever. Brian Shaw!
But yeah, so Brian, I know you won the World's Strongest Man, and then I think next year you came in second, right? Yeah. And then you came back and you won it again. So, you know what it takes to win. You finish second. How did that make you feel? Like how do you get back on top? How do you get back to that number one spot?
It's a good question. I actually coming up, I got third place one year, and then I got second, which was a tie for first, which killed me. And then I came back from that and won, and that was probably the biggest lesson, is getting second place. When you're so close, you can just taste it, and everything is there. And literally there's, if I go back in time, there's in particular one event I would change, that completely screwed me. In 2010, I didn't take enough time to load a sandbag, and that cost me the title. But I learned a good lesson from that, and kind of drew upon that, and I have almost my entire career. Is just how important is half a point, how important is 1 point, and just picking up as many points as you can through the entire competition. But I think mentally, going into a contest, I do a lot of visualization, and of course, I think in order to win something as big as World's Strongest Man or the CrossFit Games, you have to believe that you can win and that you will win, right? And I think that's very powerful at the end of the day, because if you're not confident in yourself and you don't believe in yourself, then why would you do good? Or it just doesn't make any sense to me. You have to believe in yourself first and foremost. And so I think the hardest thing is going into a contest and believing you're going to win, being confident you're going to win, being confident in your abilities, and then you go to the contest and you get beat, or there's things that maybe don't quite fall your way, or things just don't go as planned. And you have to take a step back from that and analyze, why did it happen? What could I have done different? All these different things. But I think at the end of the day, and you see this a lot with myself, with other competitors, and you've obviously had a really good career with CrossFit, where you've been right at that top spot on the podium 4 times now, and you've done well regardless of what the events are year in, year out. And that's I think the difference, because you come back from that, push yourself harder, and you find a way to get better, and you come back better. And I think that's the difference between coming back from that, because you can take a loss or getting beat in 2 different ways. You can take it in a positive way or a negative way. Right. And if you try to take it in a positive way and say, you know what, I'm coming back better, and I'm going to get this back, and I'm going to earn this title back and be the best. It's almost, if you let it light a fire within you, and you come back better, that's really, at the end of the day, that's where you see the best competitors, how they respond to that. Right. That's the difference.
Yeah. No, I agree completely that the visualization thing is I think that's really important. And, especially in the year that I won, I just felt it just felt different that year. I just felt more confident going in. I felt like I was very well prepared, and I just felt like something was going to be a little different. I think I felt the same way going into this last year, even though I finished second. I feel like I competed better than I did in 2015, but the competition was just a lot better. Sure. So, I don't know if that's a thing for you, but
have you noticed with especially with CrossFit, how much it's grown? Yeah. Right, it's blown up. Yeah. And you get so many more people entering and competing, and I'm sure the times get better, the competition level gets higher. Definitely. All the different time, which even more speaks to your ability, now to stay at the top. Right, so you have to overcome that. Plus, you've got the top guys you have to worry about that are your main rivals for that top spot. So you come in and believing in yourself first and foremost, and then knowing and being confident enough. Do you keep an eye? Because I always wonder this with other top guys too, because obviously my own philosophy on things, but do you keep an eye on what the other top competitors are doing in relation to what you're doing?
Like throughout the year?
I mean, do things get posted online?
Things get posted, and you get to see things online, but like not too often. And you get to see them compete at the Open and the regionals. So
Gotcha.
you kind of do get a sense of where people are at and
Sure.
kind of how they're sitting, and you can kind of compare that because you're doing the same workouts, the same events, just in different locations.
Gotcha.
So you can kind of compare your times and see how, you know.
So
see
when
how
when
things
those
stack up.
things get posted, do you
Yeah.
look at? I mean, do you look at like let's just say Matt Frazier, or you know when Rich Froning was doing it, or Josh Bridges, or whoever else?
Yeah.
Like all these different guys are posting their times. Do you kind of look at it and say, well, you know, this competitor is strong at this type of event, so let's just say they get the top score
Yeah.
out of everybody, and you look at the events and say, well, they're really good at, you know, they're really good at clean and jerk, or they're really good at snatches, or they're really good at this gymnastics type move, and then say, well, I expected that
Yeah.
from them.
Yeah, so when the events are announced, you know, they're all, you don't know what the event's going to be, but you kind of know who's going to do well at that event based
Gotcha.
off of what you've seen kind of, you know, that's been posted or seen about in past workout results, like in the Open and the regionals.
Sure.
So you kind of know who your competition's going to be. Just a matter of if you can stay, you know, if you can maintain that pace with them and hold on to that, you know, hold on to it. If that's going to be a good event for you, you try to do really well at it, and you try to put a lot of people between you and that person, that next
Sure.
person that you're trying to beat. Or, you know, if that workout's not going to be a great event for you, you try to just stick with that person as much as you can. So you
Sure.
you kind of game it a little bit. There's a little bit more
you
to
would,
it.
I mean, you would know.
Yeah.
Like, let's just say your top competitors, you would know their strengths and their weaknesses.
For the most part, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're
for the most part.
constantly paying attention to, you know, hey, this guy's here, and then you, to some extent at least, analyze yourself versus that.
Yeah.
Because that's the level, right? Because
Yeah,
all
'cause
you guys are
that's where you have to
raising
make
the
up
bar.
points. Yeah, like you know, you need to make up points on certain people, and
Sure.
you know, sometimes that event will pop up and you'll be like, oh, cool, I'm great at that event, and maybe he's not as great at that
Sure.
event. So you try to really make up ground and you push that event hard, you know.
Sure.
So, but now, like this year, got to the point where, you know, every event was so close. It was
Yeah.
like, you would get a second place, they would get a third place, or you would get
Right
a fifth
there.
place, they would get a second place, and it's like there wasn't a lot of ground to make up.
Sure.
You know, especially after a couple events. So.
Sure. I mean, do you feel like with that? So I know sometimes with you know, strongman, you have these you know, different events get posted, but depending on the contest, of course, you have maybe 2 guys or 3 guys that are all right at the top and consistently at the top.
Yeah.
Then there's not a lot of points flying around.
Exactly.
So the pressure is even higher to perform in certain events.
Every event,
and you
yeah.
have to beat that one person. So it's not, even though you may get a top 3 or top 4 or whatever, if you don't beat your rival in that one event, that's a big point or couple points to give up.
Yeah, and I think that's where the sport's getting to. You know, everybody's getting so consistent.
Yeah.
You know, there's the top 10 on the leaderboard, and everybody's shuffling through that, and you got to be consistently finish high on every event. So it's kind of, as the sport evolves, I think it'll kind of get to
So
that.
where is your mindset then going into 2017?
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling good. My mindset really, like you said, like how you have to try to make up points. I feel like I've gotten better with being able to compete. So like being out on the floor, I'm consciously thinking about every second, every rep that I do, every transition that I take, I'm trying to make that just a little bit faster. Just like,
Gotcha.
you know, don't rush, but like move to that next piece right away, pick up the bar, you know, move to the pull-up bar, jump right up. Like just try to keep moving and keep a consistent pace, which I'm sure you'd probably think about it. I don't know. That's what I was going to ask you. If you
100%.
like during your event, do you think about like, hey, like every transition, every thought, like every movement, you kind of think about being as fast and as smooth as you can?
100%.
Yeah.
Yep. Everything, efficiency is really the king. You know, I mean, you have to, if you're not efficient with what you're doing and how you're doing it, then you can get better.
Yeah.
Right. And,
Right.
and it's transitions like that where it's the points in different events where a lot of people don't think about how do you get better at that spot, because if we're picking up, let's just say a sandbag or a keg or whatever, and we're carrying it, a lot of people think, well, how fast, you know, you're carrying the keg or sandbag is where you make up the time, and it's not. It's how fast do you load it, how efficiently do you load it, how efficiently do you pick it up off the ground, how fast can you get in between, you know, the implements. I mean,
Yeah.
it's how do you carry it, you know, to make it more efficient? Can you take a different stride length? I mean, all these different things where a lot of people would probably look at that and say, oh, it's a keg or sandwich, just pick it up and carry it.
Yeah.
How much thinking do you really need to put into it? But, you know, if you can make up a second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds by doing something different,
that's huge.
That's the efficiency level, and really that could or could not separate you being the best in the world or not being the best in the world.
Yeah.
You know, and that's I think the level of different things. But it's, you know, coming back, I think, you know, to really answer the first question we started with is just having that confidence and building that confidence and not letting, you know, taking a second or third place or whatever, not letting that even affect really your approach. You just say, well, my approach was good, but it can be better. Right. And so you come back and it's, you know, it of course you could take it in a negative way, but it's like, I think we're both pretty positive guys about where things can go and what we can do in our sport. So it's, you know, if you take it that way, then that makes you very dangerous, right? Because instead of getting disheartened and kind of broken down, it's like, all right, well, you just lit the fire more.
You have a short-term memory.
Yes.
Get right back to it.
Coming back even better than before.
Yeah.
You know?
Very cool.
Awesome,
Nice.
man.
Yeah.
Very cool.